was easy. This is up and down, and this is lateral movement. Could be that. This doesn't move up and down. But that's what the chattering is there, I think. Need to take that sprocket off, but it does feel like there's a bit of movement up and down, for sure. And as you may remember from the clip of Geoff turning this, that keyway is very badly damaged as well. Don't know if you can see it. Easy. Oh, there we go. There we go. Gasket's broken. Ooh, that's bad. I don't see any broken teeth or anything that's apparent in the bottom of that gearbox. Maybe that lay shaft bearing. Absolutely clean as a whistle, like brand new. I'll check this and then this. Oh boy. And that just pulls out without an issue. Okay, everything is nice and clean. And then looked at all the gears, the clusters, all the parts, having taken everything apart, given everything a good clean, and then obviously compared it with the parts diagram and the parts listings. I also cleaned around here, so it's nice and tidy now for when everything goes back together again. The teeth are all great, except for on the ratchet, so Ron has ordered a new ratchet. There was a locking washer missing for the main sprocket, but the seal fits just fine, I'll show you that. And then the inner case was just fine. Only problem are the bearings. And then the outer cover, we've ordered a new kickstarter spring. So this is reinserting the main shaft into the roller bearing over there. And I do appreciate that it needs to be supported on both ends, but just to give you an idea, it moves up and down quite a lot. If you support it, it's not so bad, it runs quite freely. But if it sags, it was certainly making a knocking. This is one possibility, so ordered new bearings on both ends. This is the lay shaft bearing. It's a needle bearing at the end, if you can see it. And when we put the lay shaft in, if I just put my finger under there to support it, it seems like it runs nice and smoothly, but as soon as it sags, you can really hear it. So again, if I lift it, seems fine, and again, up and down movement, lots and lots of movement in there, wiggling around. So I think that's also part of the problem. You may not be able to see it very well, but this is the inner case, and I've put the main shaft into the bearing. And it doesn't half make a bit of a noise. It's rubbing. It doesn't necessarily feel notchy, it just feels rough. And it's not spinning. So again, Ron has bought a new bearing for here. And then this is the lay shaft. This one feels okay. There's quite a bit of movement. The other end was really bad. So overall, the bearings, I'd say this one's the worst, and then the needle bearing on the other side. And then we've also ordered a new spring for the kickstarter. I don't know if you can see it, but it looks a little squished there. Just a bit nervous that it's weakened and it might snap. It's always a good practice to get a new spring anyway. As far as the main shaft keyway is concerned, it is a little rough, I must admit, but this was the key that Ron made because he couldn't get hold of one, and that is actually quite a good fit. So, you know, once it's torqued down, shouldn't really be necessary to replace, but anyway, he's got a new key. So there it is, and that fits in nicely. It does move a little, but it should be enough, and the walls are strong enough to support that certainly once the sprocket's on and torqued down. So we'll give that a shot. Just been working on a couple of little jobs while we wait for some parts to arrive. A little bit of wiring up here, and then Ron has bought a new rear chain guard. He got that from Burton Bike Bits. It looks really nice. So I'm going to put that on the bike, and then took the opportunity to give it a clean back here. I couldn't get the chain guard off without removing the rear wheel, so that's off, and it was pretty easy. It's got a two-piece axle. There's like a stub axle on the other side, and then this is a nice piece here. Just basically put a pin in there and undo it like a T-bar, like on the Vincent. And I just cleaned up inside there while I had the opportunity while the wheel's off. So everything looks really nice in there now. I think this bike has been painted or perhaps powder coated in the past. It's in really nice condition underneath. Here are some more parts that have arrived just now from JRC Engineering, and I'll leave a link in the description below to JRC and other tools and products that I use in the Mighty Garage, both on this project and other projects that I hope will be helpful. So we've got the main bearings here, we've got the lay shaft needle roller bearings here, kickstarter spring, the washer that was missing, and then part of the kickstarter ratchet mechanism and a gasket, and then a couple of other little items. I'm going to try and remove this needle roller bearing now. It's back there. I'm going to try and use this tool here. It's a blind bearing removal tool, and there's a slide hammer that attaches to this. So that will push in there. I've got it nipped up as far as I can right now. Sort of just slides to the back, locates behind the outer race, and I'm then going to tighten it up. It then opens up, and then I should give this a few sharp cracks with the slide hammer, and hopefully it will come out. It's pretty tight already, so that should hopefully work. I'm going to start with a little heat. Hopefully won't need too much. Let's insert this tool. Might not even need that much. And then pull that down, lock it down, and then tighten it up. There we are. So that's expanding it behind the bearing, hopefully. And that nips it up. And then attaching the slide hammer, fitting to it. And get my fingers out of the way, and no, it's working, but it needs more heat. Okay, let's try that. Fingers, Mike. Go on. Yes. Good, good, good. And then this one, try and line this up with the oil way. That one there. Oh no! Ooh. Hopefully that's all right. Maybe a bit more. That's it. Okay. I think that's okay. That's flush. And when I look down that hole there, the oil hole, I can see the bearing hole that lubricates the bearing. So let that cool off, and then I'll also cool off as well. It's a little stressful, that bit. Wow. Last one, I think, and then I'm going to go for it. Okay, I'm going for it. Here's the bearing out of the freezer. Now I'm going to heat this up a little bit more. It's not warm enough. Again, this has been in the freezer for a good while. Uh-oh, got it started off at the wrong angle. There we are. Okay. Okay, that's the bearings fitted. I'm so pleased. I'm so glad I bought this infrared thermometer. Wow, it worked really well, and I actually don't think I got the cases hot enough still, even after all that heat. Which just shows you how hot these cases have got to be. And you probably saw that as I took the old ones out, they simply weren't hot enough with the cases, and that's why I probably struggled more than I should have to get the old bearings out. I should probably have taken the cam plate out first as well. Looks like no harm done. But that's the needle roller bearing in there, and it's roasting. So it just shows you how hot you got to get these cases.